Hello everybody and welcome to Sector 3's live stream this afternoon, coming live from the studio here in Sweden. I have joining me on the sofa the usual suspects, JF and Sonnet.
Hello.
And of course a special guest here, Anthony, who's the head of our sound department, who'll be giving a little insight into what's been going in the efforts coming from the sound department from our latest patch. Again, probably I have to take the time to apologise a little bit from the lack of streams that have come from the studio from the past couple of months, but the guys have been working hard from a development point of view, and not only from the development side but also from the business point of view as well, where we've been talking with a lot of partners lately at various places around the globe, which again we will share a little bit later on in the show. So without further ado, let's get to it. JF, Sonnet, Anthony, and give the guys an insight into what's been going on these past couple of months.
So yeah, I mean, we will have this patch that we are going to describe today in this stream, and one of the biggest features or biggest changes is actually a huge sound improvement. So Anthony is right here to explain what has changed and what is making his life think. And
several things have been implemented to improve even more, if we could, the sound in the game. First one was the backfires. A long time due thing, I have to say. But this system, I was really not happy with it.
What was the problem with the backfire system?
Well, basically, the backfires, because we obviously refactored this thing several times, but the last version didn't let us much control on what was happening when the car was backfiring, which means that it was pretty much backfiring for no reason, or let's say without really having any interaction what the car and the driver was doing, which is obviously totally different now. This is where we started, basically. We wanted to be totally interactive and to be in link with what the engine is doing. I don't know if we can start to see...
You want to show, I mean, we made a video of you
exactly.
with your new tool that has been developed recently, so you can have more freedom on the actual backfire system.
Exactly.
And, you know, creating your own system, should I say that?
We can now build from the ground any kind of backfire.
There's the video showing you now.
And especially the sequence of the backfire. So, right now I'm driving Citroën on Macau, and what you see are the patterns that we can now build and add as many times as we want, as many patterns per car as we want.
But what is a pattern? I mean,
and a pattern, each bar, each point which you can see on the screen here is basically one trigger for a backfire. So each of them is calling a sample in a huge sample bank. That's also the new thing, that before we have the limited number of backfire sounds per cars, now we can call as many samples as we want per car, and most of all they are randomized, which means that it will be almost impossible to hear twice the same backfire sequence, which is a big novelty, I think.
So in the current version of the game that is public right now, before the patch, you are suffering from some repetitive sound in the backfire system, like it's always the same.
Yeah, much repetitive. We basically had a maximum of 6 samples available for each car, which was less than enough, obviously. And now we can use 100,000 if you want backfire samples. And I will continue to add much more samples along the development.
How many samples are you adding for this patch? Like how many samples are
this
we gonna
patch
get on patch day?
is using, including the gear shift backfires, almost 200 samples, but it will obviously increase, and the goal is to have some perfectly customized backfires for each car, which is not the case yet. We already have classes backfire. Basically, each class or type of car have different backfires, but not exactly per models. But that will come along the development later.
But already this patch includes some variety. I mean, 200 is already a great improvement, sounds like.
Yeah, the most important is that 200, you might say that's not much, but when you think about the randomization, then you understand that the number of possibility is huge, because between all these triggers, there is a system that is cutting, restarting each sample. It can be in the middle, it can be at the end, so it's never the same. So I think we built something that is really new and that fits perfectly with the game now.
Good.
That's what I can say about it.
So you're allowed more creativity and more freedom on the backfires, side of the sounds in the game.
Yeah, exactly. We can do whatever we want, and that's a huge improvement from before. We're not. Also, the other thing I wanted to say is that it's also linked to the driver input. I mean, the more you will rev, the more backfires we get. It's not going to be like before, like you get backfires forever, whatever you do. Now you really need to have your input.
There is a better link between the
it's totally
what the backfires are, and the engine, what the engine is actually doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, like a normal engine, a real engine. I mean, the more you rev, the more you have chance to get some backfires, and that's the case in this game as well. Another system that we added is the possibility to add some artifacts to the engine when it's coasting. So basically, each trigger of the samples have the possibility to produce an artifact in the engine sample, which is also totally new.
Can you describe what an artifact is?
Yeah, it's basically influencing the engine sound in a way that it makes some cuts. Like basically, we can talk about cuts in the sound, like muting it for very, very short periods, like milliseconds.
But this is going in depth of how a backfire actually works in real life. It is basically an engine cut.
Yeah. What I really wanted is to have this brutality from the backfires when it's coming out from the engine. The engine is pretty much struggling, so it's really wanted to get this kind of brutality in the game as well. This artifact is still a work in progress. I didn't go much deep into it now, but I will continue to work on this later. So, yeah.
And that's only one part of it. That's for the backfires, but you have also received more freedom and a different system for the rev limiter.
Yeah.
Maybe you can explain a bit.
So we got rid of the old rev limiter system. Basically, in the old system, we didn't really have the possibility to play a rev limiter sample to recreate this the way the engine is cutting, like in real life. So now, as soon as you reach the rev limit, the engine is going to cut. I mean, you will hear it in the next video.
We have a video lined up to show everything that we're talking about right now.
But basically, the old rev limiter system was really not satisfying. It was basically wobbling, like doing whoa, 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 which I really didn't like. It was not realistic, simply. So what we wanted is to have something that really sound like it is in real life.
What is it in real life? Is it like it's a cut?
Yeah,
also,
it's very brutal. It's cutting, but it's cutting. Each car is different, obviously, but it's cutting in a way that it's quite difficult to reproduce with. I mean, the common physics system in the racing games. So yeah, we had to think about it a bit. I'm not sure, but it might get improved in the future as well. But I think it sounds pretty good already. So we will see with the feedback from the people and the users and what they think about it. Yeah.
And the last thing that we should mention maybe with you is the because it also touches sound, is the new transmission model that we've been talking about on the social medias, but also
on the previous stream,
on the forum, and we mentioned it in the previous stream.
Yeah.
This is an entirely new transmission model, and we worked in a collaboration with the engineers from Roll, the Chevrolet WTCC people, and they provided us with great data and information on how to replicate, and how to simulate a real transmission, how it works. It actually has drivetrain elasticity, as they call it, which has an effect on the physics, how the car behaves, but also on the sound, side of things. Because when you take off, or when you're, maybe you can explain.
Yeah,
this.
it's very important. Basically, until now, I was just taking the drivetrain elasticity sound from the recordings, which is not a bad thing, but it's a bit closed in the sense that I cannot change it. It is like it is, and it will never have any variation in the speed or in the way it behaves simply.
But maybe, we need to explain what is the drivetrain elasticity. What does it bring?
Drivetrain elasticity.
In like if we had to do engine sounds. I mean, currently the cars in the game, when you shift up, you go through the gears. It is very linear, like
exactly, and that's why I was always having this wobbling part in the beginning of the samples, the engine samples especially, to simulate this. But now we don't need to simulate it anymore. We have it in the game. What is happening is basically that when you're shifting, the power coming from the engine is not handled by the drivetrain. So
it's too brutal for the
it's coming
for the
so sudden. It's so sudden that basically the whole drivetrain system is struggling and having this kind of delay. And producing this wobbling part in the beginning after each gear shift. So now, in the game, it is dynamic, and you will get to hear it in the video. And
I'm going to start it right now. So you will hear. I think it's a race, the WTCC race with I think it was Suzuka.
Yeah.
And you can see. Everything we just mentioned.
Yeah,
here's
the rev limiter, especially at the start.
Yes, there we go.
not in the stream yet.
Okay, so, well, Anthony's now left the sofa. He's crawled back into his office and he's already back at work, probably playing sounds like nobody's business. But we can carry on and take over the baton from here. And Sonnet, maybe we have to share some updates about you know, some of the feature sets that's coming with the next.
Yeah, with
update.
this patch we did a lot of improvements in the backhand side of things, behind the scenes, to improve the speed in the menus, to get rid of the sluggish menus, and the loading times, both in portal side but also in the game side of things. So apart from that, we also finally got rid of the wheel menus, the green orb we call it.
The nasty orb.
It's gone.
With that, we kind of revamped a few things, the flow of the title screen, the icons and everything. So we have a small video kind of going through these visual changes. As you can see, we got a new icon. It's not a big deal, but
It looks great. It's fantastic.
It's a better icon.
It's, you know, might as well update those two, since we're getting rid of the green orb, which was our old icon. So
yeah, when you start the game, you end up straight in the RaceRoom experience. And now this video is actually showing all the sound settings for. We have added more sliders for the volume of all the sound effects that we are adding in this patch. What we didn't mention with Anthony is all the suspension sounds that we are adding. Now you have some car body rattle, like when the road is getting bumpy. We call it road feel effects for the sound options. It's basically giving you, you know, a nice atmosphere of like rattle of the car body. It's really nice. And here, I mean, we also added the amount of visible cars in options. It's maybe for people with, you know, not as good computers as others, but it's also a first step towards bigger grid size that we want to work on, and you know, multi-class and all that. So that was for the new settings, and then
yeah,
so
with the orb being gone, we introduced a new thing called Experience Switcher. So now it's a lot smoother to switch between experiences, and the transitioning between, it's all a lot smoother. So for instance, for a multiplayer browser, you can jump between experiences without having to back out and entering another experience through the orb. So this is a lot smoother and snappy.
And now you can see the loading time being super fast. But this is a dev.
Yeah, this is in developer environment, so it's a bit faster because it's all local files and things like that. But we did actually improve the loading times as well. It will still take a while in the very first when you load into a track for the very first time, but the next time it will be around 20-30 seconds, depending on your hardware.
This is really one of our main aims for this year, really, is the actual user flow of when you get into the game. I mean, it was kind of disjointed in the past, where you would have to go to the green orb, click on an experience, exit out. It became sort of button after button.
I mean, the UI was horrible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You had to go deep and then go back if you wanted to exit the experience. That was like we hated it as much as you guys.
Yeah.
But now that is gone. So
a step in the right direction, a step closer to where we need to be, for sure.
Yes.
And we also improved a lot of things in the portal backhand side of things. One of our biggest problems we experienced in the past was, you know, whenever we released a new content, there was an increase in the traffic in our servers. So people started getting timeouts during peak hours, especially, and you know, it's not just a game; it's a product, it's a service we're providing, and we have to make sure that, you know, people don't time out and the game, the whole server is as stable as possible. So yeah, we worked on that stuff behind the scenes as well.
All right.
Good. So probably moving on to one of the biggest feature updates that everyone has been waiting for. I think we announced it in the last stream very briefly, but here, Sonnet, we can probably mention it and finally say it's coming.
It's coming out.
I'm assuming you guys are talking about multiplayer dedicated.
Yeah, of course.
Well, okay, of course, yeah.
But yeah, it is coming next week.
Whoa, so soon.
Yeah,
It's
not
done
right
already?
now, but next week, alongside with the patch, we will release our dedicated multiplayer app. It will be available on Steam for free. And we have a small video going through how to get that if you're not familiar with the
Let's play the video.
Steam. Let's just play the video. It is quite straightforward, but it was always our aim from the beginning to make something user friendly as possible. Here you can see, you can just easily download it in Steam under Tools section, and have the front end, which is quite straightforward, as you can see, and you have a lot of power here. For instance, one of the things you can do already is multi-class. You can use multiple classes in the cars section. This is something we don't really support yet officially, but it works. One problem is that the results will not be
Sorted by class,
by class just yet. But this is something we'll include in the next batch. Yeah, with this application, we also include some APIs for the more advanced web developers, so they can see all the metadata, all the settings, the content IDs we use, and integrate them into their own systems and tweak things around, fiddle with them a little bit. But yeah, it's you know, although it's very user friendly, there are still some technical aspects everyone needs to be aware of if you want to host a dedicated server, and that is the you know, certain ports being open. You have to open and forward some ports, and all that stuff will be explained in a guide on the forums, which you can also access from this front end on the by clicking on the question mark on the top right corner, which you can't see right now, but it's there.
And the hope is, obviously, for the MP Daddy stuff is to get a lot more involvement with the communities and the leagues that are running out there, isn't
Yes,
it, really?
Exactly.
You know,
it's important to keep in mind that this is still an alpha, but we wanted to share it with you guys as soon as possible and improve it together with the community.
Involvement.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably the right word to say. Yeah.
So please continue to provide your feedback on the forums. We are definitely listening and reading all the feedback and all the feature requests, shall we say, and everything's being considered. And as soon as you turn on the server, it will appear in the multiplayer browser in a matter of a few seconds. It's quite fast.
Good. I think that's one of the biggest, the hottest topics we'll talk about today. So, as I mentioned at the start of the show, you know, not only from a development point of view, as the guys being extremely busy, but from a business side of things, you know, we are continuously working with our partners on a day-to-day basis. You know, some of our partners, you know, the guys over at ETR with DTM, we've got the RDRT guys, and then of course we've got WTCC, and obviously, hopefully, fingers crossed, many more to come. But you know, I think it was last weekend or two weekends ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, we sent some of our guys to the Nürburgring, which was hosting for the first time. Obviously, the WTCC race being there. We sent over JF, Jay, and Alex Humler, not only to gather some reference on some upcoming, content that we want to work with, but obviously to sit down with some of our partners and explain some of the thoughts and processes behind what we want to try and achieve together. So here's a small clip on what went down at the Nürburgring.
Well guys, I'm not very good in simulator stuff, so I took my helmet for in case I crash. Okay, there we go. it's better I do the real thing. Mamma mia.
All right, yeah, that was a quick recap of our meeting. We saw, or we had the 24 hours race, all the cars there, and that we took pictures of. We met with drivers. You just saw Tom Coronel. We spoke with WTCC, Eurosport. Getting this schedule of release nailed down, and talking to all the partners and sponsors. Yeah, and then we have, regarding the WTCC, regarding the WTCC content, we have another video showing the Shanghai track by Tom Coronel. So.
Here we are, starting the straight here in Shanghai. Very impressive complex, as you'll see. Massively buildings with unbelievable big grandstands, as we expect a lot of Chinese people here. First corner, long right-hander, very difficult. Long right, try to hit the apex, is down the hill. Left-hander, not too early full throttle, up to third, you can also keep in second. High-speed chicane with the tires. Normally Formula 1 goes left here and comes back on the circuit, as you see here. Here we go to the long right-hander. Up left. Upshift to third. You can also take completely in third. We will see what we will do in qualifying. Braking point. Curbstones, a little bit too late. You saw some small smoke on my tire. Good on the apex, and then a long right-hander, very long, goes downhill, gently on throttle, and then full throttle on the long straight here in Shanghai. Up to 240 plus, braking point 120 meter. Hard braking, very hard braking, all the way back to first gear, about 48 kilometer, shift up, no wheel spin. We're still talking about second or taking it in first gear, up to the left-hander on the straight again in third gear. This was a lap of Shanghai with the Royal Motorsport Chevrolet via WTCC.
All right. Well, thanks to Tom for this, for the nice presentation of Shanghai. But regarding the WTCC 2014 and when to expect it, it's going to be a car pack with the four. What happened there?
The lights just
I think we seem to be in the midst of a storm here in Huifta.
Okay.
I think that's what's causing a little bit of the performance problems with
Still
the stream.
power with the
Exactly.
So yeah, the WTCC 2014 will be available as a car pack in the store, and the tracks such as Shanghai that you just saw right now will be released separately in a staggered
way.
So talking about release of the car pack, that's going to be as soon as possible. Like I mentioned, we sat down with the partners and we need to get in sync with them and do this together. So as soon as possible. There is no date attached right now.
Good.
Yeah. Now maybe we can mention the rest of the content that we are working on.
Working on or updating as we go along. Absolutely.
I mean, I do have some screenshots to show you of. You can see here in Macau, which is another track that we will be releasing, part of the WTCC seasons. This is a great looking track.
This is awesome. Awesome track.
Yes. Yeah, this is some more WTCC cars on Salzburgring. Yeah.
Nice.
And then in this patch, we are also pushing DTM 2015 cars and liveries. They will not be, for sale. They will just be there for online competitions that you will hear about by our publisher, RaceRoom Entertainment. They are currently organizing some big events that should happen soon with all those 2015 cars. Anthony is not with us anymore here on the couch, but he would tell you about the new internal sounds that you can expect for this competition. You will hear them, and for the car physics, once the cars will be ready for release, they will have totally new physics. With the feedback from drivers like Bruno Spengler, that is helping us with nailing the physics and the behavior of the cars. That's important to mention. I mean, we are using as much as we can the real life driver feedback who are playing our game to really go as real as we can with the car behaviors.
Absolutely.
So that's something you can expect for DTM 2015 cars now. And related to DTM is the TT Cup, Audi TT Cup that we recently announced. The car is being worked on right now. It has been modeled and been textured. This is a work in progress shot. You can see here under several angles. It's not in the game yet. It's a bit too early. I mean, we don't really have it in the development environment yet. But you can see some of the work in progress shots. Yes. Quite great looking car there.
It's awesome. And of course, the first race was not so long ago. I think it was at Hockenheim, the first DTM race.
And I know some people are after we announced this car, people are asking, started asking questions about when they can expect this car. Well, as soon as possible, but we want to also include and ship with this car the actual push-to-pass feature. So that's something we will be working on, and it has to be. We cannot just release the car without this. It would be a bit pointless. So definitely this year, but depending on other priorities and commitments, we don't have a date attached to it yet. And the other very interesting content that we are working on is Spa-Francorchamps, which I'm really excited about.
Of course, being you live not so far from the track, if that's right, if I believe, Jeff, or used to live.
I mean, here you can see some buildings with the wireframes and the actual wireframe of the track that was in an early stage. But now it doesn't look like this anymore. We have been making tons of progress on this track, and this is as it looks right now in the development build. You can see that Wojtek here is having already some goes at light settings and how to make everything look super. Nice details on the walls everywhere. This is looking like
nice.
Yeah, this is the Ardennes. And here, you can see the 3D curbs, but also I need to mention here that it is work in progress. You can see the missing pit wall that's being added
as we speak.
Yes. Some nice detail here with the curbs and the grass. And here we are in the Raidillon, Eau Rouge, and you can see that it's actually 3D rocks that have been modeled. I mean, this is great. I know Wojtek has been playing The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, and when I saw this, I actually thought about, it reminded me of that game. So.
But Wojtek is obviously one of the track artists we have.
Yeah, I should maybe speak about him. You know him maybe in the community as Fields 3. I mean, he went crazy on Spa.
Nice.
Yes,
Looks
nice
awesome.
overcast skybox there. So that's it for Spa. And then maybe some of you guys know, yeah, you do already. We already teased this car.
Yes.
The
We have
LMP
done.
Audi R18. Some in-game shots on Paul Ricard. This car is in the game, but is awaiting physics and sound.
And this will be an addition to the prototype class that we obviously intend to rejig around, if
Yes.
I remember rightly,
Yes,
Jeff.
I mean, we don't want to make this a cup car. We want to add more prototypes to the game, and we already have some, which, yes, can be fantasy sometimes, but we have also radicals. So there are plans to make those two classes, so to say, like prototype 1, prototype 2. So more on that later. But yeah, definitely some plans going on with prototypes there. And then one of the maybe
hotly
most-
anticipated
requested.
tracks that obviously a lot of the community has. I mean, I probably don't even have to introduce it already. Looking at the screen, a lot of you will know what track that is, but if you don't,
it is the Nordschleife.
it's just a small track in Germany.
So for this, if you don't know yet, we went through the option of taking laser scan data. We worked with a company called 3D Mapping that had the fully detailed scan of the whole track. And this is what they delivered. I mean, you have the environment and the track separated. And yeah, it's high definition. And they also provided those pictures that are how to perspective, perspective, no perspective,
Top-down,
so to say.
orthographic.
Yes,
Type shots.
and it's these kinds of assets are helpful for all the graffitis around the track on the tarmac. And you can see here the recreation of it based on the reference assets. This is a Maya shot of how it's been modeled and textured. And this is some screenshots of how it is at the moment. This is current progress. Alex Humler is working on this track, and you know him as Comate. And right now he's going through the inner terrain, we call it. So that's everything between the two guardrails. And he's doing some great progress there.
It's also probably worth mentioning that all these textures you see are all placeholders.
Yeah.
Because right now the main work is lofting and elevation, things like that.
Yes. And just as a teaser, Georg had the WTCC car going through some corners, and you can enjoy this little video teaser. So yeah, that was in-game audio, 100%, not edited. So some great, exciting content to look forward to.
Absolutely.
And I think we covered the topics that we wanted to address.
Maybe we should go a bit more into detail about the actual patch that is being released next week. We already, to recap, we can maybe mention again that the WTCC 2014, all the cars, Macau and Shanghai will be included with this patch, and they will be released
at a later point.
At a later date. And apart from that, maybe we can touch on.
But you're touching on something. I mean, maybe we can explain why. I mean, the size of the patch in a download
environment.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be big.
Yes, it is a big one.
Yeah, there is a
worth
reason.
mentioning the size. It's going to be quite big, around 10 gigabytes. So apologies if you have a slow connection or if you have a bandwidth cap. But there are a lot of improvements in this patch. So we have to, as you heard from Anthony, there are a lot of changes, so that we had to rebuild all the cars. There were a lot of shadow related fixes and optimizations for the loading times on the track, so we had to build most of those as well.
And we're also pushing all the art fixes, like all the bugs that we had fixed for cars or tracks that we never could push because of patch size issues. We thought, okay, this is the nice occasion to just patch everything. So big patch. Sorry for this.
Yeah. And we didn't really touch, but there was also changes to suspension.
Suspension, AI is another one. I don't know whether we wanna...
I did speak about the suspension and the car battle, the car battling thing. The AI improvement, maybe we can touch about this right now. I know there were some questions. Maybe you can start on the questions. But the first question that was about the AIs. We are shipping with this patch a huge AI improvement, new code that is internally called as the smooth operator. If you're familiar with the game, you know that right now, for example, the cars, the AI cars have a tendency to blink the brakes. I don't know if that makes sense, but constantly go tick 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 on the brakes. This is no more. I mean, they are going to be using a lot more coasting. The experience when racing AIs will feel a lot better. If that was possible, yes, that was possible. We did it.
Yes.
So it was actually visible in the gameplay video that we showed before. I don't know if maybe we should show it
maybe
again.
Go back to it again and highlight the fact that a lot of this these updates have been coming with this patch. You can maybe see it going into the first corner here, the first...
Yeah, the video keeps
number.
freezing though. That's because of Twitch, I guess.
Yeah.
As I say, we are experiencing quite a big storm here in Quivda. Maybe that has something to do with the...
So you can see here the AI braking. I mean, you can notice the difference, I bet. We already showed this, so you can review it on YouTube.
And again, all these videos will be available on YouTube after the Twitch stream for the community to watch. But should we jump into some questions? Let's take a few from the guys externally.
Sure.
Let's have a quick look here. Here we are, Sonny. You can have a look at that
pages.
one.
Yeah, 3 pages. We can just. First one I'm seeing is actually on topic because we just touched on Nordschleife. Which versions of Nordschleife do we get? 24 hours VLN or just one without the GP track? That's from Too Lame to Aim. Well, we will be doing as many layouts as we can. I'm not making any promise here, but what you will get for sure is the Nordschleife. And we want to make the endurance layout, yes. Now, it will require some code changes for this to happen, because we want to also make sure that the experience is as real as we can, meaning you don't have to do a full out lap around the Nordschleife. You can take this GP layout shortcut. So that is a bit of a code change we need to put in production too for this track. Considering the time frame and how long it takes to do this track, it is likely that we do it. So let's see. Absolutely. But we want, let's commit to doing it now.
So I have a few here from Hepsan. How long does it take you to complete a track from the first time you go out to recap it to actually till it's ready for release?
Well, I would say it depends on the track.
For sure.
Like I just said, I mean, the Nordschleife is a pretty long track. Now, it depends also on the buildings. If it's a track with tons of buildings, such as Macau, a city track, well, it's assets that you need to take into consideration, and those take a long time to create. You have simple tracks. If you go back to the Swedish tracks from STCC, those are really, you know, short, very not so much environments, a few buildings. This can be nailed down in a few you know weeks, months. It's pretty easy. It also depends on the quality of the reference we get. Did we get someone there? Did we not? Did we get CAD data from the architects or not? So it is very, you know, it depends on the tracks basically.
I don't know, another one. Jonna777. Is Sector 3 Studios already busy with dynamic time of day? No, we're not yet, but obviously we do cater for setting the moods on different tracks, which are available in the game right now.
Yes.
And a second question, more than 24 cars. Well, actually, you know, you're seeing at the beginning of the stream that obviously we have increased the limits. And we are playing around with that option. However, it's not available.
It is not yet. I mean, you
patch.
won't have a bigger limit after the patch date.
No.
What you have is the very first step, which is a rendered card
variable
option. So you can know that's a first step because we actually made it first. But yes, you will have the option to have a bigger grid size at a later point after the next patch.
I think I probably got all the hardest questions out of the 3 pieces of paper here.
I mean, I see questions that we already covered on my page. I don't know about you, Sonat.
Sonat, is there anything out there that you
I don't know. There is a Sobre asking about false starts, which is a good question because it is actually being included in this patch.
Yeah, that's true. We are. Thank you for that question because it is something we forgot to mention that after this patch you will be able to do to jump the start. If certain conditions are met, which is you need to be in get real difficulty with flags on, with you know, race rules enabled.
Yeah, I have another one here. Tom Cat, nice name. Have the connection issues that so many non-European users are experiencing been resolved?
I think I mentioned this in the beginning, but a lot of the refactoring and optimizations we did in the backend was indeed for to improve this situation where people experience timeouts. So a lot of the bottlenecks that was happening are all a lot smoother now. So
again, another question here from Mr. B. Ecclestone. Are you going to support open wheelers anytime soon?
B. Ecclestone.
B. Ecclestone.
It also
it rings a bell.
Rings a bell, yes.
Rings a bell.
Same question from someone.
Well, yes. I mean, open wheelers. I actually can announce that we started working on that. We have some cars being modeled right now, and I actually have some work in progress screenshots. If you can just look at this.
Whoa.
Yes. Now this is not the only model we will be doing.
No.
We will have an entry-level Formula car. You know, those a bit like Formula Ford.
Yep.
No aero, just like entry-level, basically a rookie car. We will have this GP2 looking car. We will have some higher grade Formula One that will please this B. Ecclestone guy.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe we can speak to him personally and
Yes.
send him some VIP shots.
And some more like historic looking open wheelers. Yes, this is definitely something that was missing in the game, but is not going to be missing in the game for much longer.
Good. Anything else? Any more questions?
Not from me. Let me look again. No.
A lot of these we already touched.
We've already touched,
but
of course.
Yeah, I have one.
the,
Actually, I have one from Tim Cannon. Will there be an option to spectate dedicated server in the future? Well,
Yes.
yes.
Was that Tim Cannon or Jim Cannon?
Tim Cannon.
There are
Jim.
plans to implement a broadcasting tool, so that's in the plans. No, there's no set date. So it's still in the early planning. Talking about the false starts, that reminded me that with this patch we also have, I mean, these are not massive big features, but we included a lot of new settings, such as, you know, clutch biting point, the upper dead zone for both clutch and brakes. A lot of people were requesting an option to prevent double shifting on worn out wheels. That's also been included with this patch. and a lot more. This patch is really quite
and all
big.
those details that we might not have mentioned in this stream, because it's getting quite long, I guess. You will have in a detailed changelog, obviously, with coming with the patch.
I mean, it is a big patch, both in terms of file size, but also in the amount of stuff it contains.
Yes.
In the game. A lot of changes. But yeah.
Good. So that's it.
I think that's it, yes.
Awesome. Okay, well, from everyone here in the studio, from the guys on the sofa, we want to thank you for tuning in, and of course for the moment you've all been waiting for, which is the massive free VRP giveaway, which we do at the end of every show. Here it is. JF, take it away.
Goodbye, everyone.